Hi Flosstube, this is Autumn, the Yellow Rose Stitcher. Welcome back. It's today's February 19th. Yeah, Sunday the 19th. So I'm back for my monthly update. If you're a returning viewer, thank you for coming back. And if you're new to this channel, this is a Flosstube channel where I talk mostly about cross stitch, but occasionally a knitting project or a quilting project, but mostly cross stitch. Although today I do have a knitting project and a little table runner quilting project, so I kind of hold those to the end if you're not interested. But so yeah, and it's also my Flosstube anniversary, if I said that correctly. I always have trouble with that word. So yeah, I did so my 1 year anniversary of making these videos, so it's been fun. And I had to look up, my first video was on the 15th of last February, so just a few days after, not too bad. Haven't had quite as much stitching productivity as I did last month, so, but you know, that happens, life, other things getting in the way, just didn't get as much done, so like I said, that's life. But I'll share what I have done. And say, hopefully the lighting's not too bad. I say, it was bright and sunny earlier today, but it seems like it's kind of getting cloudy. Plus it's, anyway, you don't need a weather report. But I say, I didn't write any notes down today, so we'll see if I can make it through here without forgetting stuff. But hope you're doing well. Hope you're enjoying your February. So far so good. No complaints. There hasn't been really anything going on in my world, so it's been pretty quiet, which is good. I can deal with that better than drama, so no complaints here. So we'll get right into it. Let's see, go back to my calendar to show you. If you're new here and haven't been visiting, this year I have a big birthday this summer, and so for my 50th birthday, I decided to start 50 new things. And so this is month 2. So I have 3 new starts to show you. 1, 2, 3, 4 new starts. Yeah, and then 2 more to go this month. So I have one to start today that I haven't had a chance to start yet, and then one next Sunday. But my first start is called Going for a Ride. Let me pull it out. And it's a pattern by CW Designs. It's this pattern here with the teddy bear and the little wagon. That's what I got started. And it's a series of patterns. There's 3 patterns, 2 patterns in each that you have to purchase. So I started this on 28 count white Lugana. And I really got quite a ways on the week that I was able to work on this, I thought. So I got... hold that. See if I can hold this. So I got quite a bit of the wagon done, and this is the handle part that goes down to the wheels. So there's a couple of blocks and just, I think, part of a leg of the teddy bear. So, but these big blocks of color go quick, so you can get more done when you don't have to change colors as often. But this week was a good stitching week. I got quite a bit done on that. So looking forward to getting back to this. I think it'll be really cute. Of course, I'll say I enjoy stitching on Lugana. Pretty much, let's just say, I don't quite enjoy Ada quite as much because of it. It's usually stiffer, but I'm not too picky about Ada or linen or Lugana. But yeah, so that was the project I started on January 22nd and stitched on it for a week. And it, as I say, and it's all DMC, so, and a bunch of them. So I'm just using the called for threads there. And get this back in my bag. But I'll show it here in a little while. Yesterday I was going through my old collection of magazines from the 80s and 90s looking for something else, and realized, because I want to make this pattern for when I changed our son's bedroom into like a playroom for grandkids. And I'd like to have a collection of these kind of patterns in there. And going through my old magazines yesterday, I was coming across several that would be good for that. So I didn't mark them. I should have marked them, but I'll have to go back through and do that again. So, and then my next start was another Mill Hill bead pattern kit. Pull that out. This is my second ever Mill Hill. If you watched last month, you would have seen my first one, which was a small little ornament. This one is one of their button and beads patterns. Let's see if we can do this without the glare. Snowy Owl. So I didn't get quite as much done on this because there's a lot more confetti in there. Let's see. Probably should have brought something. Oh no, you can see. Let's see if that'll work. So, got not a ton, but let's see. See if you can see it there. So I got quite a bit of his body. So I think I mostly worked kind of on the wing is where I was, I think, if I remember correctly. So, but I say getting used to stitching on perforated paper and not really having, I'm used to a Q-snap or a hoop, so I kept catching the corner as I was doing the thread. So other than that, I don't know how many more Mill Hills I'll do. And my husband reminded me, I don't have very many of these, just gonna blank on what you call these thread palettes. And then I remembered, or my husband remembered, he goes, you had one of those big ones you got from the Mexican Quilt Stitch Retreat. So, because if you know in a Mill Hill, they just put all the thread in there and then keeping track of it all. So I was able to get it all on here and use my thread palette. Is that what they call these? I forgot. Anyway, that came in handy. So I've not really used one before, but it's really good for these kits where they don't come on a card or anything. So I may have to invest in getting some more of those, I think. Excuse me. Okay. So those were the two projects that I started at the end of January, the last 2 Sundays in January. And then we move into February. And my first start for February was one that I was looking the most forward to. My first Mirabilla. And really, really enjoyed stitching on Ashley's Roses is the pattern that I've started. And I'm sorry, this is an out of print chart. I bought it off of somebody on Etsy at an Etsy store, but this is Ashley's Roses. And I don't know if it was because I was enjoying the project so much, but it was a really good stitching week. I got really quite a lot done. And this fabric never really, when I have shown it in the past, doesn't really show up well, but we'll see. And I'm stitching it on 32 count Damsel by Picture This Plus. And to say, I started right in the center because I didn't want to have to try to count up. But I say I got quite a bit done on her dress. I'll say those big blocks of solid color and not a lot of color change really helps get a lot of stitching done. So, but I eventually had to make it over here so I could get some color in because I was tired of stitching white and gray. I think those are about 4 shades of gray in there, and then white. And so, and of course, if you can see the blank spots, those are where the beads will be. And she doesn't have a terrible amount of beads. Not that but I think the Mirabilla, the earlier patterns didn't have as many beads. I think I've heard that before, I'm not sure. But yeah, so say the fabric is kind of a sky blue and there's some yellow and pink in it. Just to say it never really shows up as well. But thoroughly enjoyed working on this. And May have to make it a Whip Wednesday project. We'll see. Oh, I got the needles getting in the way. Hang on. So I now have gone and made a wish list on 1, 2, 3 Stitch. There's some other Mirabilla patterns that I wouldn't mind having. So where they're going to go in my house, because they don't fit my decorating style, but doesn't really matter. Who knows how long it'll take me to finish all of these things. I'll say it. I need to live to be about 500. And definitely after this year with 50 new starts when I've already got 40 going. So that was my first start for February. And this was a bag by Dot Dot Goose. So nice bag. And then my last start was this past Sunday, a week ago. And this last week I got very little done. Just too many other things going on in life to get much stitching done. And then I kind of didn't have much stitching mojo this week. But this one for the week of Valentine's, I started in Twine Hearts, was the Scarlet House. So that was my start. Like I said, I got very, very little done. I only got 2 letters in. So let's see if I can cover that. But it's stitched on Aztec Red by Weeks Dye Works. The pattern called for 40 count, and I've got I just went blank. I think it's 36, and all the called for thread, which the called for threads are all Classic Color Works. And I'm using the cottons, the Classic Color Work cottons. So anyway, she didn't get much love this week, unfortunately. So put it in the whip pile and work on it when I can. So that was all of my new starts since my last video. And then I say I've got 2 more this month. So tomorrow is President's Day here in the United States, and so my start that I'll start later this evening when I get a chance is I'm gonna George Decorates for Martha by Plum Street. So I thought that was appropriate for President's Day week, and it was I got it when it was a kit through Dying to Stitch. So I have all the finishing, all the thread, and the fabric is an R&R. What color is it? Sorry, 36 count Colonial Brown by R&R Reproductions. So, and there's a mixture of the threads are Weeks Dye Works and DMC. So that'll be my start tonight. And there's a lot of stitching on that. So it'll be interesting to see how my stitching week goes this week, see how much I can get done. So far there's not a whole lot on the calendar. So hopefully I can get a good start, a good dent put in it at the beginning. We shall see. So, and I need to finish I got a project bags that are halfway done. I need to get the rest of them done so I can put that in a proper project bag instead of the Ziploc. So, and then the last week of February on the 26th, I plan to start the 2022 Collector's Heart from Heart and Hand. So, and I still need to get the thread for this. I keep, probably ought to do that this evening too. So, because it comes with the fabric and some very tiny buttons from Just Another Button Company. And the fabric is Heartland, 32 count Heartland from Picture This Plus. So, but that'll be my next 2 starts this month. Get those going. We'll see how the stitching goes for the remainder of the month. See how much I can get done. So say, and I say I didn't have a whole lot of Whip Wednesday projects either. We're pulling out whips because one Wednesday, my daughter came over and spent all day. She's wanting to make a t-shirt quilt for a gift for her husband and to keep it a secret. So she came over with my granddaughter Farah, and we spent the day. And I'm a quilter, but I've never made a t-shirt quilt, and so there's a little bit of a learning curve. We didn't get terribly far, but got started. So I say I didn't get any stitching done that day because I was helping her and watching Farah, and then kept Farah overnight that night, and then most of the next day. So that was another reason for, and I don't remember which week that was, but anyway, needless to say, I didn't get a whole lot of stitching done those 2 days. So one Wednesday I worked on, oh, I don't have, yeah, I do. I pulled out Pandemic from Long Dog Samplers. Let's say probably everybody's familiar with that pattern. So I pulled that out one Wednesday to work on, and I'll say I didn't get very far on it. And I'm stitching it on a 32 count Nantucket Brew by R&R is the fabric, and I'm stitching it with Mrs. Sada's silk, gorgeous color, and it's called Oxide. That's the color of the silk. And as I say, I didn't get a whole lot done. Oops, sorry, things are falling. But I got some more progress on that. I finished up the top of this piece here and the little diamond, and then I came down and started filling in here. So that was my progress on Pandemic. So need to take it out of the frame now and set it aside so it doesn't, I'm bad about leaving my stuff in the hoops and Q-snaps. So although it's not, I don't find it as bad leaving them in the Q-snaps as the hoops. The hoops leave the rings, but anyway, you think after stitching all these years I'd know better, but I always think, oh, I'll get back to this, and then time goes by and then it's been in the hoop or the frame too long or the Q-snap too long. So let's see, another see, that first week in February it was pretty cold here. I think that's the, is that the week we got some ice? It was cold, so it put me in the mood for knitting, and so I pulled out Declan's hat, which is a hat I started a year ago, back last February, and this is and so I finished that, and I actually stitched on it Wednesday and Thursday because I was so close to a finish. I didn't want to put it away. I just thought I'd get it done, but I think it turned out, I put it on my head, but if I took it off then I'd have static, so I put it on my styrofoam. But I was really happy with how it came out. Love the cables, really enjoyed the yarn. This is called Wild Blueberry is the colorway, and it's by Bad Sheep yarn and worsted weight, and I love the colors, the purples and blues and navy in there. Anyway, so I don't know how much more cold weather we'll have here this year. I say there's it's been such a mild winter. Our poor plants and trees, I've noticed some Bradford pears already putting out blooms, and then a neighbor has a tree, and I don't know what kind of tree it is, but it's got beautiful like fuchsia pink blooms. The whole thing is full of blooms. So if we get together in a cold snap, who knows what the trees are going to do. But anyway, that's done and ready for me to wear. So, but a lot of knitting. And then this week for Valentine's, or should this week, last week, I got this out thinking, I figured, I knew it would go quick. So on, is it Valentine's? No, well, actually, I started it Tuesday. I can't remember. I started it on Valentine's, but I bought this kit last year. It's from Shabby Fabrics. They have a whole series of these monthly pint-sized table runners, and this was February. So, and it's, as I say, so I was able to get the top done. I still have to machine stitch down the applique, but really cute. Really cute. So, and this is the first time I've used laser cut shapes for applique. I really say prefer hand applique, and instead of machine applique, I'm not as good at it. So, but I'll need to get out a practice cloth and practice my machine stitching before I stick this under the needle. But it's the shapes are great though, because I wouldn't want to hand applique those little scallops. But I think it turned out really cute. So if I can get that done, I can have that done. Hopefully I have this done before the end of the month, and then it'll be all ready for next February. And when I was making this, I remembered years ago, probably 15 years ago, it's been a long time, there was a quilt store in town, and I took, if any of your quilters familiar with Jo Morton, she had, I don't know if it was called the Little Women's Club. Anyway, we met once a month and would work on little small projects, and one of them was kind of like, it was probably about the same size, a little bit wider. Anyway, it had appliqued hearts on it, and I finished it years ago. And it's, I say, this is my problem with littles, is I take my big quilts to machine quilters to have them quilt it, and then I do little things. I never get them finished, so I need to try to work on that this year if I can get this one done and the other one. And the other one, if you're familiar with Jo Morton fabric, she does a lot of Civil War reproduction fabrics, so those are the colors. So very different styles, this compared to that, but I didn't go digging for it to see where it was. But that's pretty much all the crafting for February, or since my last video. That's pretty much what I've worked on. Let's just say not quite as productive, but hey, that's life. Let's just say get done what you can, and so the only other really thing to talk about is acquisitions, which again, I haven't really been out doing any shopping. I went into this to Joann's. I was looking for a quilt magazine that I had seen posted, but they didn't. But anyway, this is the only thing I've bought since last month. This was at Joann's Cross Stitch Gold Scenery Collection, and this project caught my eye. There's some, and I think this is an English from the UK magazine. But anyway, it had some good stuff in it. I'll show you a couple of them. There's the cottage. So I don't know. I can't see if it says how long it's out, or yeah, printed in the UK. Let's see. I should have marked these ahead of time, but I'll say I don't have any plans to start anything, but I just thought there's a ton of great patterns in here. If you like, I like patterns with houses and stuff in it, so thought it was like this. That one's pretty. Let's see. And I really liked the one on the cover, which is, I'm just to say, I don't really have beachside or that kind of scenery in my house, but I thought that was really pretty. So that's my favorite out of here. And let's see, do one more. Let's see. Bear with. Come on. I say I like these English cottages. Thought that was pretty. Anyway, it's at Joann's if anybody's interested. I thought it was. But that's pretty much it. So I say short and sweet this month. Not a whole lot. No, not a whole lot to chat about. I say not quite as productive on the stitching. So we'll see how it goes from now till March, and see what I can get done. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in March. Happy stitching.